Okay. And then also you want to keep in mind, Ms. Dolores, that that router is what gives you that Wi-Fi signal. And Wi-Fi can definitely be spotty because, you know, you're dependent on radio frequencies to deliver you that connection.
Right.
My recommendation to just stop that droppage, especially if you guys are, you know, on laptops. Get an Ethernet cord and hardwire directly from your modem and your laptop. What that's going to do, that's going to stop that outage. That's going to stop that intermittent signal that is getting, you know, from your online using that Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And then give me 1 second. And then I do see that you don't have COPS Complete Care. What I would recommend is that you also get COPS Complete Care. What that's going to do, that's going to provide you with an advanced technical support team. They're able to troubleshoot everything from game systems, cell phones, laptops, third-party routers and modems. They're able to do way more than I can do because I'm only able to actually troubleshoot And then I also advise you to get that Ethernet.
Hello, class. Hello, Miss Holland. I think you're the only one in the class today.
Hey,
How you doing?
good, you?
All right. You got my email what it was yesterday?
No, but I got the connection email today.
Oh yeah, I just did that because my internet, my son he's in class and it's been up and down prior to us getting on. Hopefully it stays up. I don't know. But if not, then I'll try to hardwire it and try to connect back. But I don't know where everybody else at. They thinking school is out or something. I don't know. But what we'll do, did you complete your other two programs?
Did you programs for this week?
No, remember the SART programs.
Yeah.
You got grades on them?
Let me see.
Let's go back and look at that. I think we did because I think when we were discussing that with your mom. So let me go to my screen. What we can do, we can look at your program. Because like I said, I don't think anybody else is online. Let's see. Grades. All right. I think it was what 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's see. All right, so let's look at what you have here, Ms. Holland. Oh, I did. Wait. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you had errors. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Okay. Sharp come in. All right. So let's just look at your program, Mr. Holland, and see. Hello, Mr. Sharp.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
No, not too bad.
All right. So let's look at Ms. Holland. Hopefully everybody else come on in. All right. So here's your program. I'm gonna just look through it, but I'm gonna put it in visual. Basically, looking at it, I see this as a function that actually bringing in an int and well. See, is this the right program?
This is the third one. Program assigned 3.
1 and 2, 3. Okay, I'm just looking at vectors here, but yeah, but I'm still saying, look, you're using two-dimensional arrays. We are not dealing with two-dimensional arrays in this program. Ms. Holland, remember, an array can only hold data of the same what data type. And remember, and remember in the assignment, I told you to read in that, well, not read in, but initialize that string array, correct? Correct? Which is this, right? Hello?
Yeah, people are talking, so my next.
Oh, yeah. And then I told you to read in a int value, right? And a float value. So what? That's 3 different what? Arrays, because you got 3 different what? Data types, correct? Right?
Yes.
All right. So now, all right, let's and so that's something we're gonna look at. We're gonna somewhat kind of modify. So now, this is your okay, you got your head function in there. That's good. This here, you really didn't need this. And this could be causing a problem. So you
got one of the problems. It kept saying it doesn't have a close for it.
Right. You understand? Take it out. All right,
Okay.
you don't need that. All right, so now you got the variable declarations. You did that because two-dimensional. That got to change. All right, so we got all this. All right, now you got these other functions based on these that you declared. All right, but look here, your main function starts here, right? Correct?
Yes.
Now, look here. You never close the main function, but you're doing what? You're defining another function inside that main function. All of this is like being defined in the main function. And if you put a curly brace here, all of this is within the main function. So you got the main function, but you got the other functions rather than being defined what? Outside of the main, they're what? They're within the main, which causes issues. So
I need to declare outside of the main.
well, you need to define it outside,
Yeah.
and you call it from within.
Okay.
So let's do this. Let's take your program. All right. We're not we're not so much concerned with actual and see you got calc. Well, see this is an entirely different program though. Let's look at the instructions because I think you may have messed up on the instructions. All right, let's see something. Submit the program. Let's see. And it might be on me. The program, okay, let's see what the program is to do. See, this is the program. It doesn't deal with averaging or nothing. All it's dealing with is reading in 10 records, sorting the data by the year, all right, and printing it, or reading 10 records, printing out the 10 records from a function, sorting the data from within a function, and then printing out the data, from that same or that same print function, and then doing a search algorithm to see if that record is found or not found. All right?
Yeah, mine actually worked at the end.
Yeah, but who is that? Who said
Rajay.
that? Your program worked? This particular program?
My program worked.
Let me ask you this though, and what I mean by what I'm asking you. Did your program work in the fashion to where? Let me go back here. And you talking about this program worked?
Yeah, I thought like you have to input, like if I didn't put I listed the data in there, but data wasn't listed in there, then it wouldn't work. But if I put in a certain data that was in the file, then it would work. Did you understand what I said?
I understand what you're saying. You're saying if you input it from the keyboard, everything worked. But if you let it read from the data file, it didn't work.
No, I'm saying like what I put on there. I'm trying to think if okay, so I inputted data on there and it had its own section. One name had one section, another name had that section. If I didn't put a name that was on the on this program, then it will have an error. But if I did a name that worked, if I had a name that was on it, then it worked.
But look at this logic though. Just look at what this logic is doing. This logic is doing what? Reading in a two-dimensional array, right? Correct?
Yeah.
This logic is calculating the average of the two-dimensional array. And this one is printing out score. It's not doing anything with sorting and searching. You understand what I'm saying?
So am I doing too much work?
You're not doing the right work. Okay, let me do this. Let me see. Mr. Sharp, did you turn in your program, Mr. Sharp? I think Mr. Payton did. Had you turned in your, let me see. Let me go back. Here. I think Mr. Payton did. Mr. Richard at least. Mr. Richard.
Yes, sir.
Can I pull up your program 3?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So let me pull up Mr. Richard's program 3. All right, let's see. Program 3 assignment. And what I'm gonna put here in the visual. All right, let's see what I'm commented on here is. Okay. All right. One record missing from in your sort. It ran, but in his sort, his logic didn't print out the last record. I don't know why. Okay, data not read from a function. So what Mr. Excuse me, what Mr. Richard did, if you look, this is your main, right? Let's see. He have all these functions defined here, but if you look, everything is really in what? The main function. Everybody see that? Everybody understand that? What he didn't do, he didn't take where you're reading. Okay. Okay, first of all, where is the name? See, the name should have been declared. So you wouldn't have done an input. So let's take his program and I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be modified to whatever. Let's look at it in visual. Take the .cpp. Yeah, and I've got all these little screens open. All right, so I take his program. This is, wait. Okay, here's this program. So what I'm gonna do, all right, and I think I have, I do have an index file. Let's see what all these screens are doing. All right, so it's in header or resource. All right, here we go. All right, so look at it. Oh, I remember I removed it. So I need to add some more records. So let me do a bill. Well, let's see, make it realistic. Seven. So, so I have these 10 records, all right? So this is the program. This is this program. I copied it into here. So look. Oh, I did it wrong still. I didn't do it wrong. Let me see. Let me go back to the instructions. I'm gonna make sure. All right, from the instructions, it says, okay. In this program, okay, 10 records, okay, print whatever. Use a function to input and sort. Okay, right. Input the name, right. Okay, I'm getting too confused with the initializing the names or whatever, but no, we have to read them in. You was right on that part, Mr. Richard, Mr. Shaw. All right, so what happens is now, if we look, we reading from a file. Index is the name. This is cool when we endorse it. I mean, Windows is no problem, but I'm gonna just make it identical. All right, so this is this program. We have all this loaded. Let's look in our header file because we need what? We need to load the what? The F stream because we're reading from a file. That's there. All right. So we go back to the source. We know when we load header.h, all right, we pulling out head, which is going to be our hit a function definition, and we also going to be reading from a file. So we got IF string, meaning we're going to be reading from a file. His object is called input file. So whenever he read from his data file, he won't do a CN, he will do what? Input file. So he have a string that's 10, so that array size is 10. Now he could have created a constant variable and then put the constant variable in these. He put the 10, that's okay. See here, like he got it down here. So what he could have done to make his program a little more versatile, he could have put this up top, all right? All right, he could have put this here and put size in here, you understand? So, and you might say, well, what's the difference, Mr. Sylvester? The difference would be now you're going to use size every time you are trying to deal with something. Like here, you could use size. So if I change this to 100, this is automatically set to 100. I don't have to go back throughout my program and change where I have 10 to 100. So that's one of the benefits of doing it that way, all right? And even like I say, starting at 0 here, less than size. So what? If size is 100, we cool. If size is 50, we still straight. We don't have to go back and change much of the stuff in our program, all right? But like I say, hopefully over time, it'll come, you'll start writing it in that fashion so that you can better update your program. So we got these variables defined, a name array, a year array, and a tuition array. You see that, Miss Hollins? All of them are single arrays because you got a string, a int, and a double. All right, now, okay, you're reading it from the data file. Now look, here is his read, all right? This is where you read the data, but that should have been from a what? A function. So here he should have done something like, had a void, say get data. I'll just say get data or read data. All right. Now, what we want to get or read in that function. We want a string array to be passed. We want an int array to be passed, and we want a float array to be passed. And we can pass what? The size. So that will be what? Int. All right. So now, and it's just an int, it's no array. So now, and I'll put a semicolon. And what we're doing, we're just dealing with the read, correct? So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna cut this information here, all right? I'll cut this out, all right? And what I'll do, I'll also cut, where you define it. Yeah, see, I'm gonna define this on the outside, make this global. Otherwise, I'd have to pass it or either use it within that function. So I'm gonna cut this and put this outside the main so that file object can be used throughout the program, but I'm just using it in this function. All right, so now I'm gonna take this information here, all right, and do you want that? No, leave that like that. I'll cut it, all right, but what I'll do, I'm gonna put my call right here because this is where the information being executed. Get, what I call it, get data. I think I called it get data. What did I call it, class? Oh, read data. I call it read data. All right, so watch, read data. And then at this point where I'm calling it, what I want to pass a string array, what is my actual string array? Name, okay. What is my actual int array? Year, because look, I'm defining it here. Name, year. What's my double? Oh, it's double, not float. Tuition. And what's my integer value? Is that right? Tuition, that's size, all right? All right, so give me this because I think I got a float up here, and I'll put the semicolon at the end. All right, so now I think, yeah, let me change it. It might have been giving me a warning, double. All right, so now, okay, now see, it took the error. So this is all the information I just cut, but now I need to go and define my array, but I have to define my, let's see. Hold up, let's see something. Is this the same program? Let me see something, Mr. This is not sure. Yeah, see, why is this not the same? It's showing the same. Oh, it's on the show, the linear. Oh, okay, not the read. All right, yeah, not the read. So what we do is go down here, and what I'll do void read, and I'm defining it now, read data, all right, and what? Here is where I would take the read data here. Okay, I'm reading in a string array, int array, double array, and that integer, which was the size. And now I can give them new variables, right? But I'm gonna wait to do that right quick. I'm gonna paste this right here, all right? I'm gonna paste this here. So now look at this. My input file, okay, is my object. Right. So now it says it doesn't know what size is. It doesn't know what name is. It doesn't know what year is. It doesn't know what tuition. So in here, remember my string is name. I can use name or I could change the name of name. So I'll do string, and then being that it's name, I'll just use the same one. Name, but I'd have to say what? An array, all right? And I keep the same order. The next one was an integer array. I'll do int, and my int array is year, and I'll tell them that it's an array. Then float, and not float, my fault, double, and then what? Tuition, and it's an array. And then my integer value, which was size. If I could type. All right, so now in class, I don't put a semicolon at the end of this because this is my function definition, all right? Oh, I forgot my data type, int size, all right? So now, all of a sudden, you see, Mr. Sharp, what I did, I took that information from out of the main function and created a function that will what? Read my data, right? Everybody see that? All right, right. And you see, I had to make sure this was in line, the variables, names, because I could have changed the names being that it's a different scope. So that's reading the data. All right, so I'm gonna read the data. Then he's saying, okay, I want to print out 2 lines. All right, but he got his head here, so he's gonna bring out the header file. He's gonna do all this. Then he's gonna print out 2 blank lines. Then he's gonna show the array. All right. So now this is, I could put / here. Display. Because what? He's gonna print out the array, right? So let's go to show array. So look at show array. He passing that string. Now he passing the name array into what? ARRA. Correct? He passing year, that int array, which is year, into what? An int array called ARR. So you got to be able to understand what's going on. Now he's passing that double array called tuition into a double array called money, all right? But he also could have passed size, so that he did, whatever size. So what? I'll just go back up here and I'll say in the show array, I'll go here and say and do an int, all right? But I need to go where I'm calling it and where is it? Where's your show array? See right here, your show array, and when you're calling it, I'll put size. So what? So now in my show array here, I could say comma int size, if I could type. All right, and so like I told you, rather than use that 9, you'll do less than size. And all of a sudden, what? No matter what you change in your program, if I want to read 100, read 50, all that's going to be automatically done. You don't have to try to go back and look through the program and change it. So it just helps to make a better program to where modifications is much easier. So remember, ARRA is the name. It's a string array. ARR is the int array, and money is the double array. So that's going to print out the data in its original form in the way in which it was read. All right. Now, then, so that's here, the show array. All right. So now, here he printing out, this is the sorted data. All right. So, and then he put his heading. He wrote out his heading, but then what? Then he called the array that sorts the data. So if we go to sort array, we go to that sort array function. Now, this is the sort array function, class. So here, and look, he used size. I did that. No, he used size here. So what he did, so when he passed the sort array, where is that? All right, right here. All right, when he passed sort array, look, he passed 10, but he could pass what? Size, and no matter what size is defined at the top, it's automatic. So I'm just making the program more easier to debug, not more, you could say debug and even to modify if you have to read more or read less. All right, everybody see what's happening and why that will make your program a little bit easier. All right, and see here. All right, so size -1. All right, so you're using size. So now this is this sort array. Everything he got what? It's ARR. Now notice his int array is ARR. So what? In that sort array, the first thing that he passed in the sort, let's find it, should be year. All right. So see in this one, in his show, he passed name first. But what? He specified that he was passing what? A string. But then in this sort, the first one thing he passing was an int. So it always has to be in line. It don't have to match a previous function, but that particular function, when you pass in different elements, you have to make sure that the data types match the, if it's an array, if it's a vector, all that has to match for each the function definition and function call and the prototype. But he did a good job. He got everything. You know, he wasn't confused by, I put the wrong one. Because if you put the wrong one first, like say int where you should have put a float or int where you should supposed to put a double, you'll get some kind of link error. You know, the program can't link. Now, so that's the sort. So once he sorted it, all right, then he want a show array. Now, some students, even in my other class, what they did, they created another function to show the data. All right. And so what the thing is with that is, why not use, well, you did the same thing too, Mr. Let's see if you did the same one. Okay, because I created that show. Nope. All right. Well, where is the show? Yeah, show. All right. So what I could have done though, but I'd have to use it. What's the show that I created? I didn't create a show. All right. So that's good. He got one with capital and one with lowercase though. Unless that's just a typo. Well, it can't be a typo. That'd have been an error. Yeah, see, he got show array here, which is the original data, but then he got show array here. He could have used the exact same one because what? I'm printing out the same data. And what I mean by the same data, I'm printing out a string array, I'm printing out an int array, I'm printing out a double array. So, and I'll show you that after we run it, that I can call the same one and it just return back and do whatever. So let's leave it as it is now, because there's no problem. It's just that you got more lines of code. All right. So we got the show array. After the array has been shown with the sorted version of it, then you want to input a value, and that whatever that value inputted, you are to do a search, because like I say, whatever they got the linear search and then the other the binary search. So now you were supposed to return a value to that function from that function. So that he called this function linear search. He passing year, because see we in the main. But when you defined it, he said he want to pass an int array, a string array, a double array, a int, but then another int. All right. So let's see what he passed. So when he called show array, he passed the year array, name array, tuition array, the size, and even the value that we inputted to go and check to see if it's found. All right. So if we look at that function, all right, we scroll down the linear search. So now this is what yeah, see, I wouldn't want you to do this way. All right. I would want you to pass or return that positive or that position value. And when you see, you put in record not found. So see, I wouldn't want you to do it this way. I would want you to let it go through the loop, and whatever position value is, if it's a -1, you return a -1. If it's a position that's found, you take it and you return back to the main here, and then if this is not found, else, you know what I'm saying? Else, see out the record sub position or sub result, because result is the whatever. All right. So this part here, I would take out, and I'll take it out later though. But let's run it. Let's run it and see what happens. So we have the program. Anybody have any questions as to what we did to Mr. Sharp's program? All right. Any questions as to why something is whatever? If I did this, or why should I do this, or whatever? Anybody? Any questions?
No.
All right. So everybody on point. So let's run it. So normally what I'll do, I'll debug the program, all right? And let's see what happens. It's actually compiling. All right, so look here. So with Mr. I got it here. So with Mr. Sharp's program, let's see what actually happened. So I'll do something like this. I normally put a dummy header file just to see if it's done. That's what my header file look like. But if you done it right, it should pull up this. Head, when they call head, it pulls up this, header information. And I know that your header information should be whatever. All right. Now, here is the original data. All right. Look the names and look the years. The years are unsorted. Okay. And then look the amount is with the actual names. So now how you check, but this is what I was showing you, Mr. Sharp. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's what I was showing you why the last one didn't print. All right. So let's see. So let's put in a year that doesn't exist. So I'll put 1945. Okay. See, not found. Correct. Program So far, running. But I'll run it again, all right? And then I'll put in a year and I'll put in 1983. Now, when I put in 1983, Mary, 1983 and 8,322.28. But then what I'll do, I'll go back and look here. Mary, all right, 1983, 8322.28. Because what? Just because you have output doesn't mean what? The data is sorted in the right way. Correct? Right, Claire? All right. So now the thing is, remember I told you about the show array? Watch this. Rather than me calling two different show arrays, but I still have to make sure they're what? In the same order. So what he did here, he got int before string in the second one. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the second one and I'm gonna comment it out. All right. I comment it out, but now I'm gonna get an error in my in my show array. Where's my show array call? Where's my show array? Okay, here it is. Sort array, show array. Which one I commented out? Oh, I commented out the lowercase one. All right, so here, show array capital. Okay, with name first. Then this show array. I'm gonna change this to capital. Show array, and this should be name. Everybody see why I'm changing it? Because and then yeah, because I'm using the same. I'm using the same. Here, show array. All right, I'm using show array, name, year, tuition, size. Same thing. If anything, I could copy it and make sure you see it, and that is identical. I could copy this. Okay, and show array. I'll select it and I'll paste it. All right. All right. So it's the exact same thing. Now, I'm disregarding this particular array function. When I comment this out and I don't call it here, it's going to disregard the logic at the bottom. So I don't have to delete the logic out. Okay. So now let's run it. All right. And you're going to see the program going to do the exact same thing. And it might give me all 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So see what happened? Uh-oh. So something was wrong. Okay. So something was wrong with his loop in that other show array, because in this show array, it printed what? All of the records. You got what I'm saying? But it only, and what it did, see, in this one, he printed out the name inside the column heading inside the function. In this one, it printed twice. All right. So see, sometimes when you duplicate stuff, you may create an error because it was not identical to what you're already doing. So if he would have used the exact same show array, you'd have printed what? That 10th element. All right. Because see, in this show array, let's saw it. In this show array, see, he going from count equals 0, count size -1. So he going from 0 to 9. So that was the only problem. All he just should have did was size, not size -1. So you got what I'm saying? So sometimes when you rewrite stuff, you'll make an error, right? Because if I put that at 10, then it'll print off. At 10, because it's going to be size, it'll be less than 10. 0 to 9 is 10. So he printed from 0 to less than 9 because size is 10. All right? Okay, so let's see what he did. See, and what I would do, see this show array, he got that. So if he got that in there, so let's see, because I'm trying to eliminate, he printed the show array. So what? We could eliminate this, right? Because inside his what? His show array, you already have this. So he had the same information, this and that twice. So let's debug it again. But see, that's why it takes time. You have to work with your program, go through it. Uh-oh, something is wrong. Let's see what it says. Oh, Many times, class, I may not have told you, many times when you are dealing with functions and whatnot, see, I have this window still open of a previous execution. If that box is still open and I try to run the program again, I'll get a link error also. So watch what happens. Watch, I'm gonna close this out. That means I'm finished with the execution of it. Now everything is back anew. So now when I do a debug, it should run. So you should always finish it. See what I'm saying? So you should finish your execution. Look, what happened to that double name, date, tuition? It's gone, right? So he got what? The original data here. He got his message. This is the sorted data. And then what? Name, date, tuition, and then his tuitions. Okay? So, and even though he didn't print the 10th one was still in the array. All right, but he just wrote the for loop not to do all of the records, not to print all of them out. All right, so questions, class. Anybody with questions? Because you're gonna have to get this program to do our next program. All right. Right? Now, okay, so that's his program. All right. So that's some of the modifications you're gonna have to do, Mr. Sharp, to make your program right. You got what I'm saying? In that the logic is right, but then we got some minor modifications to do for dealing with pointers. All right. Any questions? Ms. Sharp, you understand what was done and why?
Yeah, somewhat. I'm probably going to have to go back and watch it again and see everything that I did right.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. But like I say, this is basically, how to program. You were on the right track. You were on the right track. You did a great job and everything. And just that those little minor things that you could have touched up. But like I say, good job. This phone stuff. All right. So, and then the second program was basically the same way, but what you had a different sort routine, right? And you had a different search routine logic. So the program, the setup is identical minus the two functions of the search and the sort, which you have that algorithm and you have that code in the notes in the book. So all you got to do is try to fit it in and match it to your logic. All right. Any questions? Hello?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So that's that. So I'm not gonna close this up. So let's I need to pull up the notes. All right. Well, before I pull up the notes, what I'll do, I will close this program. So what I'll do, I'll close this program, and I'll do close solution, and I'll pull up another project, something that's already there. If I can, I'll just do no. I just open. I wanted to go to my projects and whatever. Nope. Well, I could put one up. I'll choose homework. All right. So now, I just want something that I've executed already. So I want to try to rewrite code. All right. So I'll take all this out. I'll leave you the last bit. I'll leave the in data. Take this stuff off. And what I'll do, I'm going to write this class, but I'm going to write this without what I want to say. Without using functions and whatnot. So I'm going to give you an example of what is needed, but you're going to hopefully understand and be able to put it in your program. All right. Okay, I'll just do that. Okay. All right. So we have that and we have return And we'll go back to the notes, but I'm gonna give you some information about the program, what it is we need to do with the program. All right, we've already talked about and this is the format of it. Whatever array, your array name, and using the plus and your array name using using, is that right? No, AME. Your array name using the asterisk array name plus X or whatever, and X is the value. All right, so now what I'll do is everybody should know how to read from a data file, right? We should know how to do that. Now, what we did say that arrays are pointers, right? So what I can do, I can create declare variable. I'll do it just an int array, int, and I'll call it numbers and sub 10, and I'll say equal, equals, and I'll say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 70, 80, 90, 100. All right. So I have these values, all right? I have this array. Now, what we said is we can do a what? We can do a for loop, int x equals 0, x less than 10, x plus plus, right? And what we can do is this. See out. First I'll do it. See out. Slash T, and then number sub X, right? And with an S, numbers sub X. And I got a comma here. Y'all let me put that comma there. Semicolon. All right, so, and in line. What this will do, this will allow me to print out that array. It'll take each one of these and print num sub 0, num sub 1, num sub 2, num sub 3, all the way to num sub 9, and then kick out at 10, right? So what I'm gonna do is see out, just to put some line at the top. All right, some space at the top. Now, if I run this, debug, start it. It's just gonna print out the numbers each on the line by itself. Or it should. Right. So everybody see that. Got my header, print out my numbers. Right? Now, remember, with this, an array is a pointer. All right. So if I wanted to print using this, all I need to do is do numbers plus plus. Oh, no, I have to set it to a pointer. But what happens is when you pass it to a function, you're already passing it to a function. But what I'll do is I'll do an int pointer, int in or pointer in, all right? Now, I've just created a pointer. So now what happens is here. So now here. So now what happens, n points to what? Well, not yet. I'll have to say n is equal to what? Numbers. Because what? N is a pointer. A pointer can only hold a what, class? What we talked about. Somebody give me that answer. A pointer variable can only hold a what? Our class did get the pointers, right? Hello? Mm-hmm. Did we ever get the pointers?
Yeah.
Right. So a pointer variable can only hold what?
Numbers.
an address. Remember that? A pointer variable can only hold an address. Now, okay, let's go to it. Let's see where we stated that at. Oh no, I went to the assignment. Pointers. I went to the other assignment. All right. So we said a pointer variable. Let's see where we get to pointers. All right, pointers. All right. Pointer variables are special variables that holds a memory address. Okay, that's all. It doesn't hold a value. It holds the address. All right. So you got to remember that. So let's look at the program. So we have a program where we have numbers and which is an array. Now, an array, it's the name of an array, just the name by itself is the starting address of that what? That array. Everybody understand that? And so if numbers here is the name of the array, and numbers we say is an array. If we use numbers would be the starting address of the array. So if we assign that address to n now becomes the starting point of our array. All right. Now, what happens is now if we assign n as to be the starting address of or that particular address, right? And it's int. We know that what? How many bytes does an int, but the computer also knows how many bytes does an int variable take up? Anybody?
One.
Char takes up 1. Int takes
2.
up, short takes up 2. Int takes up 4. So what happens is every time this pointer is added, being that is an int pointer, it's going to jump how many bytes? If I have an address and the first 4 is where the first number is, if I add 1 to it, it's going to jump what? 4 more bytes. 4 more bytes and pick up the next number. 4 more bytes and pick up the next number. All right? So watch this. All I did was created a pointer, assigned the address to that pointer, and now I'm manipulating that memory address by incrementing by 1 each time. So when I debug it, I'm going to get the exact same results, but I'm not using what? I'm not using my array. I'm using a point. Oh, whoa. I know why. Because I'm supposed to print out asterisks. Because what? If I just print out the n, I'm printing out the address. So I have to dereference it to get what? The value. So now, that was a mistake on my part. Now you should get the actual values. So you see what I'm saying? If you look at this, and this is what your next program gonna do. Take the same program that we went over, like with Mr. Sharp, and wherever you got your outputs for your show values, use pointers. Wherever you got your read-in data, use pointers, and that's the program. Not long, but you got to get the first one done before you get this one done, before you can start on this one. Now, so what we did, like I say, numbers, we initialized it to this, all right? We could have read it from a data file or whatever. But now, watch this. If I take this information, all right, I could comment this out. Okay, I'll comment this out. If I take this information and use a function, I'll say, okay, void show data or show data. Show data, and I want to pass an int array. and I want to pass an int. All right. So I'm gonna pass those two things. So now, all right, and remember, an array is a what? A pointer, right? So what I would do is I'm gonna take this information here, copy it, because this pretty much the exact same information. Oh, not copy it, cut it, cut this out, and then I'll define my function, and what I called it, show data, and then I have an int array. What I want to give it, I could give it a note. Let me put my print my stuff on here. And paste. So this is the same exact code. Now look, I use n, right? So what I can do, I can use n as the array, but I don't have to, all right? And then I'm passing my did I do a constant value? I just did. I didn't do a constant value, but I could have, I got 10 here, but I could have done a constant value, constant. Equals 10. All right. And change this to side. Okay. And then here I'm passing size. Oh, yeah, I gotta give it my data type. All right. So now, and then in my now I still have to do my function call. So in my function call, like I said, I could comment this out. So now what I can do here is do my call, show data, then I call it show data, yep. Show data, and then I want to pass my int array, which is what? Numbers. And then I want to pass my integer value size. Now, this is what I want to show you, and I've got to put a semicolon. I need to take this out so you can see. All right, so looking at this, see this what I commented out in asterisk in, that's a pointer. But when I do this, when I do my function right here, numbers, all right, I'm calling numbers, or I'm passing numbers into this in here. This is the new location. I'm passing numbers, which is an address, into in, which is an array, which would be the address. So I'm passing it to what? A new pointer in a sense, because what? I'm passing the address to here. And so that's why I can use it, in this fashion. So when I pass that array, all right, to another function, it's just like declaring a pointer and doing it all in the main function. Okay, so you say, well, I don't know if that's gonna work, Mr. Russell. Let's see. I should get the exact same result. Oh, look at that. Let me close it up. Yeah, see, and what happens is what I did. See, I got it before the head. So see, so then and in the other one I didn't. So let me cut it. Okay, head gonna execute head, and now it's gonna execute the function. So now let's debug it. And now we get the exact same results as the previous one. So we see, and like I say, this is what your program will need to do. Now, let's look at the other one. All right, the other way I can manipulate that array. Anybody with any questions? Questions?
No, sir.
Yes, I'm listening.
So no, sir.
Oh, okay.
This you just did the you just like declared the thing outside of it. You did the directions outside of it.
Well, what happened is being being that I'm using a function. See here, the show data function passing an int array, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is when I call this array and it's being passed, numbers is being passed into n. At that point, I'm passing it to an address, another memory, another array, but that array is defined in this function, but it's really a pointer, right? You got what I'm saying? So I pass the address of numbers into n. Okay. So now, being that I pass numbers in the n, which is like a pointer, that address, now I can bump it up to each individual value, that I want to in this loop. And look, every time I go through the loop, the first time through what? Is at 0, correct?
Yeah.
So, and it's gonna print the n, just n. When I increment this plus, num jumps, right? And then the next time through it prints. Put a plus, it jumps and prints. So it's adding after it prints. Everybody got that, all right? It start at 0 and then ends before it get to 10, all right? Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, about it passing from here to this address here. So now, then we have this one where we have the array name plus the subscripted value. So what I can do here, like I could write, I'll do the for loop first, and then I'll do the function. So I could say for int, and I'll just use x equals 0, x less than 10, and I could say size, okay, x plus plus, all right? Then what I want to do, I want to see out and then I might need to make another pointer, all right? And I'll try this way first. What's the array name? Numbers plus x. Now, that's numbers, yep, plus x and semicolon. All right, so now this one should print out the exact same data as the other one. So if I run this, it's gonna do the show, it's gonna call show, and then it should call the second one. And what I'll do before this, I'll just say, all right. And semicolon. All right, and I'll put a pair, one more pair. All right, so let's run this. All right, we debug it. Okay. All right, so see what happens? It did the first one. Remember the call and did the first one. But look, the second one. With the second one, it did the exact same thing. It started at the beginning and printed everything out. So what? If you remember in our notes, what happens is we doing the dereference here, but we taking numbers plus the first time x, which is 0. So the address is what? The starting address. All right. And then we printing out what's at that address. Then what we doing? X becomes 1. Then we taking numbers plus 1. But remember in our notes, we actually, when we have it in this fashion, this is actually saying numbers plus this times the byte size. So what happens, and let's look at our notes to where that is, all right? In our notes, we looked at that that's doing pointers, all right, while we're doing the rate. Look here, see right here? It says, when you do the dereferences, number plus 1 is actually numbers plus 1 times the byte size. The 2 here was because it was a short data type. Short data types are 2 bytes, or holds 2 bytes of the information is stored in 2 byte chunks. So that's why it's the 2. Being that we use an int, this would be, and we use numbers, it would be, and if it's numbers plus 1, it would be actually numbers plus 1 times 4. Because it'll make it move over 4 bytes at a time. All right. So like I said, where did I close up? No, there you go. All right. So the first one came from here with this function. The second one came from this loop here. All right. Okay. And like I say, we could do the same thing with this one as to what? Send it to a function. All right. So what I would do is I won't send it to a function. I'll use this same function and watch what I'll do here. I'll print it in this fashion first, but then I'll print it in the other fashion where I'll say asterisk n, right? Not number, n, because n is what the array is being referenced to in this particular function. All right. Because numbers is the address is being passed in the n plus x. And what? I should get the same results on both of them. And I'll just comment this out so you won't think it's coming from here. All right. And I'll do the asterisk slash. All right. Okay. All right. So now, okay, I need to put a string. Okay. So now, so let's run it. So we should get 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, all the way down. So let's debug it. Ah, wow. Oh, I know why. You know why that happened, class? Because this is a pointer. It printed this. Well, then it did the plus plus. Then it did plus plus, which made it 2. I mean, it made it bump up 1. But it shouldn't have bumped up till the next record. It shouldn't have bumped up till the next record. I'm printing out n, and I'm printing out n plus x. Why did it do that? No. See, it started at 20, 40. Yeah, it's skipping. Right. It's skipping. Right. So this is what I'm have to do, class. No, but it ain't gonna work for this one. Right. The reason why I can't put them both in here doing this, what I'd have to do is create another pointer value. So I'll say, I'd have to pass numbers twice. I can do that, numbers. Okay. I can't do it. I'll just send a pointer. So let me use the pointer. And what I'll do, I could use a pointer variable. And then I could do this. Okay, but no, make a pointer. Int, comma. All right, so that's a pointer. So I'm passing the int num, but int num is equal to numbers. Because I'm trying to manipulate the pointer at the same time print, and it's manipulating the first one, but before it get to the second one, it been a chain. So that's what's happening. So I have to give it another name, and then now what happened is gonna manipulate them both at the same time. And then I'll do something like int pointer, and I'll call it just call it NUMB. All right, call it NUMB. So now in this one, NUMB, and that should allow it to work. UMB. All right. So the pointer value, if you look at this, I created a pointer where numbers is assigned to num. And should be B, right? Oh, no, num, all right, NUM. So now what happens is this, which is array address, is the same as this pointer address, all right? Now look here, I'm manipulating in, okay, in this address, and then I'm gonna manipulate this pointer address. So it's two different ones working together. So now it should run in the fashion that we wanted it to, because I'm taking two different pointers and doing to manipulate the same data. All right. So, but what I was doing, I was trying to manipulate one and then manipulate the other one. So I was doing it double. I was doubling it. So it was jumping 20, 40, 60, 80, and then kicking out and giving me information out of bounds. Right. So when you pass variables, and I could have had this in another function by itself, and I could have passed the array name, and it wouldn't have been a problem. But I wanted to try to print them both together. You won't be doing them both together, so you don't have to be worried about this. You would have a function here. You have one program that does it this way, and then you have another program that does it this way. All right, so you won't have those type issues. All right, but I just want to show you that it does work and it does manipulate, by bumping it up and adding it. Because this the pointer, and it's actually bumping it up each time. All right. Now, questions. And that's what your two programs going to do. Take your program that's written, got all the errors out, and now you're going to say, okay, I need to read my data. All right. So reading the data would be the same in the same fashion. If I was reading what the data was, I think it was index or index. Nope. I don't have names. Let's see names. Oh, so I have 5 names. All right. So I have 5 names. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wipe this out. All right. Any questions? Anybody with any questions? All right. So what happens is, okay, it's called index. That's good. Okay. All right. So say I wanted to read the data from a file. Got my file name in that. So now I can do in data, my phone dot open, and give it a name. And what's my name? Names.dat. All right. So that's what I'm reading from. Names.dat. I'll just do the return 0. All right. So now I'll do a for loop for int x equals 0, x less than, I'll do size equals 5. All right. And now I would say declare my variable. Do I have string? I'll see in a little while. String name equal names. Yep, my string is done. One of the names is not. I don't know why my name function. Let's see. Oh, no, but I want it to be an array. No, that's gotta be right. want my name array. I want a name array. I'm trying to create my name array, and I don't want to say equal whatever. G-name. That's right. String name. All right, so I want to read a name for x less than size. I did something. X plus plus. It's not recognizing a name. What did it tell me? Incomplete type. Incomplete type. What you want? I can't do this though. Oh, my fault, class. Yeah, I gotta put yeah, I gotta put the you can't declare just a blank array. Because I wasn't gonna initialize it, but I gotta give the size because I gotta allocate space. It's not a vector, it's an array. So I gotta allocate the space. That's I'm brain cramping. All right, so now so this is right. So for size, now in that, gonna read from here. So I can do in that, oh my fault, in that, right? In data. And what I can do is name plus plus. The name plus plus. Oh, still gotta do my pointer. Still have to assign my pointer. Okay, string name, string PSA in pointer PTR in PTR. All right, is equal to name. All right. All right. So then here I can do NPTR plus plus. I should be able to do that. Oh, yeah. The value. All right. So look what happening here. Each time, I'm gonna just space this out. So what happened, and if I would have passed name to a function just like the last time, it would have been pointing to another function name, which would be a pointer, and it would work without having to dereference like this. But this is what you do using that pointer. And each time you read, the first time it's at what, 0, and then the next time it goes to the next one. Now you say, well, Mr. Sylvester, you said a pointer can only hold an address. That is true. But look what we did here. We said what? Dereference. So now what? We add that address, but we are looking at the value. So we taking in the value. All right. So now I'm gonna read it in, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just do another for loop. For int x equals 0, x less than size, x plus plus. All right. So now, and then what we'll do, we'll just do the C out, right? So we'll just say type. So printing names, I'll just put that. Okay, so now all we want to do is output the name, right? Now we can do the same way we did before, where I would have to do something else, but I'm gonna output it. I'm gonna do name. See out my phone. Name sub X, right? So we just print it out like that. And that should print out the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, all down to fifth one. So when we debug it, all right, hopefully all the errors are out. We read from the file. Yeah, but look what happened. I didn't do what at the end of it. I didn't put what? NL. So it looked like it wasn't there, but it was there. Do the NL. All right, and we debug it. And bam. All it was, I just had all the names side by side, so it looked like nothing was actually printed. So it read in the names using what? It read in the names using a pointer. Everybody understand that? That's what your program, what you're gonna have to modify your program to do. Reading the data using manipulating it using the plus plus, on the pointer. All right. You're gonna have to manipulate the output using the plus plus, which we did in the previous examples. Then you go manipulate the data, reading the data, manipulating the pointer using the asterisk, the plus, the subscript. So here, we can do the same thing here by doing what? This and that, where X is what? The subscripted variable. I could have had index equals 0. Then that would be NPTR plus index. Got to remember that X is not just anything being used, it's that subscript. As that subscript bumps up, you bumping up to the next value to read. So let's run it now. Now, let's look at this. No, I can't do it because I'd have to do the pointer, and I'll show you that. So let's run this. I'll run it. Okay, so see what we got. Same exact thing. What? With a different way of manipulating the pointer. But check this out. X is 0, and look where we at here. And what I'll do N plus plus. What you think may happen here? Not N plus plus. I'll do N PTR plus plus. All right. And I'll do the asterisk because I don't want the address. All right. So what you think? Anybody could tell me what they think would happen if I have this code written here and then it falls into this code? What could happen? Remember, we're dealing with pointers.
One will multiply and one will add, then multiply.
No, they both doing the same thing. They both bumping up by one position. But remember what a pointer. And how can I put it? Take a mail carrier, right? A mail carrier is going down a street. And they're going down the street where the addresses on the houses is increasing, right? Everybody got that picture, correct? So look, in this function, in this for loop, we starting at what? The first position, correct? And we print out that address. We increment by 1, we go into the second address and printing it. Then we increment, we go into the third address. Increment, we go into the fourth address. Increment, we go into the fifth address. Now, remember this, we're dealing with what? Pointers, correct? Now we at the house, we at the, you can say the fifth house, okay, down the street. Then we go to this for loop and we wanna increment, we wanna print where we are, okay? So what was gonna be printed? Well, really it bumps up 1, because it bumps up 1 and it says, kick out. So it done bumped up 1 and now we out at 5. But look here, then we just fall into this loop and we're at this pointer address. What pointer address are we at when we get to the second for loop? And like I say, think of it as a mail carrier. We at that fifth house. or that sixth house. You got me? Is a sixth position a valid point in this pointer? No, it's not. So all you're gonna do is get memory addresses or garbage because I didn't take my pointer and point it back to what? The beginning. All right. So let's look at that and see what happened. All right. Well, did I print the second one? Oh, wait. This read it in. Oh yeah. See, this one just reading it into the pointer. But no, I'm pointing, the pointer is at the fifth position. And then when I do for whatever, see out this for x equals 0. I'm at the pointer sub x. It should start. Why it started at the beginning. I tell you what. See, it printed it, and well, it retrieved it. It retrieved this. But we should be at the end. And at this point, when we try to output for printing name, whatever, we should be outputting the plus. So it shouldn't be at the beginning. Oh, yes, no. It shouldn't be at the beginning. Yes, it should. I see why. No, because I'm not using X. If I was using X, I could understand in here because we're starting back at 0. But we're not starting back at 0. I'm going to have to check this one out. Because if I'm at this pointer address when I kicked out of here, I'm at this pointer address. How do I get back to the beginning? Because whatever pointer address I'm at here, it should add to it. Because that's what makes pointers so hard to work with. So if yeah, so I'm gonna look at that one. But it worked. So it ran in the data and then it went to a for loop and my pointer. Now if I don't went to another function passing it to that address, I would understand. But this address should be at a different place. And let me show you what I'm talking about. In our notes, where we talked about pointers, where with it? We talked with this one, I think it's in here. Look here, where you add and you subtract. Right. Look here, it tells us while num is less than whatever. See when as we add to this, we actually moving up into the pointer list. And then what happens, you can go back down by using the minus because you add that pointer address. You understand? So I'm not understanding why our program did not give us garbage after it read in the data and the pointer was at the very end and we kept incrementing. Because we never set the pointer back at the beginning unless it's something I'm not seeing. That's the only thing. It's something I'm not seeing for asterisk. Dereference the pointer plus. It does not go back to the back. Because watch, let me see if I do this. I'm gonna do this a second time. Copy this and paste it again. So if I do it twice, I'm not seeing that. So it should, I'll tell you what. Make sure it's going into the circle. See, it's not even doing it. It did the first one. And then in the second one, it didn't give me anything. Exegazil, they should have given me garbage, but it's not giving. It's not even. It's not even. It's not giving me anything. So x is 0, x less than size, which is 10. Okay, I want to print out everything at that, but I should get this out too. It should at least print this 10 times also. Test, 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 test. So I'm not, man, these people, man. Hold on, class. This is, hold on for a while. Yeah, I'm back, class. People knocking on my door. All right. Oh, let's see, what's this? All right. So that's why I'm not understanding what's going on. And different compilers do work different, but I thought it would give me the addresses, of with the information in those addresses, which would be garbage. All right. But in writing your programs, you're going to use functions. All right. So I want you to use functions. So in using a function to read the data, all right. So we won't be using this, a pointer. All right. So we can take this information and I'll cut it. No, this is that. No, I need that. Right. That's it. I'll cut this information out. All right. Cut it. All right. So now I'll create a function prototype up here. And that would be a void. And I'll call it read data again. And I want to pass a int array. Is it an int? No, string. A string array and an int. Okay. So the size. So now I would go down here and I would do void read data string array. Could give it any name, and I'll just paste the data so we see what we gave it, and we'll paste. All right. So in here we had say string in PTR, and then the size. Okay, int, and I can use the same name here, size. All right. So now, and if I can write string, right? Okay. So the string, string, Oh, I'm gonna do the. I'm gonna do it as an array. All right, do it as an array. All right. So I need my open brackets here. Put it in a row. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, always have your compatible brackets. Okay. Okay. Now, so all of a sudden now, here I'm passing just like before. I'm gonna take this out. This out here. I can leave this one. Take this out. Take this one out. When we turn back here, we can print numbers. We can print what it is, name. Okay. All right. So we can print names away. So here we're gonna read it as a pointer. All right. So when I read it and debug it, I won't get nothing. Oh, wait a minute. So for this size, okay, I'm reading. Oh, class, I didn't even open my data file. I need to take this. All right, I need to cut it and I need to paste so I know what file to read from. All right. So those type things, you won't get errors on. You got to read through your program to know what's going on. And now, still didn't come out. Let's see what happened. What's happening? In data, plus, okay. Opening names.dat. What's names? Names.dat. You see? Oh, that's not right. Let me go back here. Go to source. All right, let's get to source. So I'm reading in NPTR. All right, reading in for whatever. Read in NPTR sub-0. It should read the first one into that. Okay, tell size. Then when I read, because whatever I do let me see. Whatever I do to this string array, it's doing it here. Then when I come back here, printing names for int x equals 0, and I should be able to print names sub x. And whatever x is sub 1, why is it not print my names? Got the name. Let's run this again, class. I'm stumped on this one. Run it. And where's the data? There's no names printed. Printing names. Okay, printing names for x equals 0. I'll tell you what I'll do here. I will do cout. NPTR. See if it's actually reading it. No, it's not reading it. It's not reading my data. In data. In data. In data.open, names.dat. Read names.dat. Read that. I'm gonna pull this. Why not? Let's see this. Let's do it like that. NPTR. See what happens. NPTR. Let's see what happens if I just use a subscript. why? Something that went on, something happened. Because now I'm not even reading it with a pointer. This here. Read data, a string and an int. Okay, where am I calling it? That's the problem. Never calling it class. I tell you. Read data. I'm never calling read data. Read data. And I want to call name and a size. Okay. All right, class. So this was my problem. Wow. That's right. And let's change this back. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. And I'll say plus X. All right. So, and then I don't need to output it again. I can take this off. All right. So let's run it now. So I wasn't even calling the function. Logical error. All right. So see, it printed. Why it didn't print? Simply because in my main function, I declared my constant. I declared my string variable. I did not have the read function. I mean the read data function being called, and all I was doing is saying see out, print names, and do that. All right. So, and that's probably why I got errors before. Didn't get the other errors before. So, because I never was actually going through it and reading it. So, but notice in here, what I did, I passed my string to a pointer variable, or not a variable, an array, which an array is what? The name of an array is the address, which is a pointer. And then I use this particular technique to read in the data. I could have also read in the data with in PTR plus. All right, same thing. And when I debug it, I should get the exact same results. See what I'm saying? And if I output the data, same thing. I could go through here, starting at name, starting at 0. Well, that's the output. The other one was the read. This will be the output. And I can do the name plus. All right. Okay. No, it's not name plus. I'd have to return it, and I'd have to use my, I would say, I would call it something different. Name PTR, and then name PTR. I did it already. It's all done at the same time. And then I could use name PTR. Yeah. All right, because I'm starting at here. So now when I run it, debug it, run it, bam. It should give me, I didn't dereference it. See, that's going to be something you're going to have to deal with. Dereference it and run it, and I should get the results. All right. Okay. So class, let's look at the assignment. All right. Let's look at our assignment. All right. In the assignment, wait a minute. Go ahead. In the assignment, this is the assignment. Now, it tells you, and some of my students got confused with that, using the array program, all right, previous array program. Number 8, using the previous array program. So whatever program you did with the arrays, not the vector, right? Using the previous array program, all right, it sort and it search, which was sort and search. Rewrite the program using a pointer to display the original and sorted content of the array. That's all the program is to do by using the what? The plus. Now, we went over those examples throughout the class about the array, using the plus plus, passing it to an array, passing it to a function and doing the plus plus or whatever. So once you get your program correct in the previous assignment, then take it and modify your show array or whatever you called it, the array that input the data and the array that outputted the data. All right, using this plus plus for number 7. Then you take that same program and you modify the same 2 functions, the input function and the output function, or some people may have 2, depending on how they wrote it. Remember, I showed you that Mr. Sharp's program. He had 2 show values. All you need to do is use this technique to manipulate your array. Everybody understand that? Because we just did it using those little examples. That's all you're doing with these 2 assignments. But you got to get the first one working before you can what? Attempt to turn these in, right? Everybody understand? Now, if we open up the assignment in Canvas, let's go to Canvas and open up the assignment. Let's say 6, whatever. Let's see, where is it? All right, 5 and 6. So let's open up the assignment here. Now, exact same assignment, but it tells you, you have to make sure you turn in your source, your header, and your data file. Also, you have a bonus. The bonus is to take, if you can take your sort and search functions and manipulate the array content using pointers. That'd be a 10-point bonus for both programs. So you get 10 points if you do one program that way for the search and the sort, and you get 10 point bonus in the second program if you do it for the search and the sort. All right. So if you get one of them right, all you're doing, you should get the second one right because it's what? The same information, right? But you have to make sure you use the array plus plus technique in the first program and array plus dereference in the second one. All right. Only for the printout, the reading of the data and the printing out of the data. All right. And sometimes it's just one statement. If you know what you're doing, it was for one statement or whatever. All right. And sometimes it might be a little more depending on how you go about doing it. All right. So that's the assignment. And let me post those assignments right now. Anybody have any questions? I know some people have left or whatnot, but anybody with any questions? All right. If there's no questions, I'll post the assignments and make them due for Monday. And well, not Monday, we had Thursday class. Am I in the right class section? Yep. All right. It's the 18th. No, that's just something. All right, so we'll make them do Wednesday of next week. All right, class? Which is the 4th. Everybody got that? Now, they shouldn't be that hard to do if you got your other part. And like I say, I'll post the notes so you can have, I'll post the notes so you have some kind of reference, all right? So this was before. Okay. Any questions? Any questions? Anybody? Okay, I'm gonna publish this one. Okay, go to the next one. And make sure you do my documentation. I did send me my a week or so ago. I sent you a sample format of what and like say with the different page breaks are already set in it. All you might have to do just below that, type in whatever we have to type in. All right. If you want to make sure that everything is on the right page. But like I said, it's not hard. Just give me information. And like I said, some of the stuff is from the previous program, but you still have to give me the documentation for this assignment. Okay, the documentation for this assignment. All right. So. Let's see. So, got 2 more to do. And what I'll do also, and I'll post the test. All right, so I'll post the test so you'll have that available to take along with the quizzes. And I'll make it send you an email. Let's see. All right, now let's see modules. Okay. Okay, reading bonus, edit that. I'll make this do yeah. Everybody make sure you go out and vote if you registered or whatnot on the 3rd. All right, so that's done. Save that. That's Wednesday. Okay, that's right. Okay. Why did I get out of that? That's right. Number 9 quiz. Okay, edit. Okay. Okay, publish. And then okay, got that. Okay. Okay, the test. All right. So the test, get this open up. All right, so edit this. And what I have, yep. This, okay, 70 minutes. Just to be up until the 4th. All right, so that's the test. All right, so the test is up and available. And that's it. All right, so anybody with any questions? Any questions? Any questions? So if there's no question, like I say, I'll next class period. See y'all on next class period. Hey, like I said, you got some issues. Like I said, I won't tell you what's wrong, but I can guide you as to how to go about looking for the information that, or either pricking your brain to figure out what is going on with your program. All right. So if no questions, I'll see y'all on next class period. And like I say, be safe on them. All right. So see y'all on next class period. Have a good one. Y'all could put your names in the chat so that I can have you for the role. Hopefully everybody did something like that. But I doubt it because I didn't tell you. All right. So see you on next class period.